Question 3 says that the 12th term of a geometric sequence is 1 over 8. We're saying T12 is equals to 1 over 8. And the 15th term is actually negative 1 over 27. T15 is equals to negative 1 over 27. Now, when you look at this information that we're given, it's similar to the previous question, question 2. The only difference is that we are not given T1 here. We're just given any random terms in the sequence, 12 and 15. You know, they can give you any random terms. Now, they then say under 3.1 that calculate the value of the common ratio in 3.1.1. So we're looking for R again. So we are doing question 3.1, 3.1.1, and we are looking for R. The same set of skills that we learned in the previous question will be used here. Would say here that the 12th term is given by a r to the power 11. And we are saying here that the 12th term is equal to 1 over 8. We are told that is equals to 1 over 8. So this 12th term is equals to 1 over 8. But on the other hand, it is defined by a r to the power 11. Now you can notice from this equation that I have two unknowns, the a and the r. That calls for me to say I'm going to do simultaneous equations because I have two unknowns. I'll call that equation 1. I'll then come and say term 15 we are saying is equal to the negative 1 over 27, right? So here I'm going to have negative 1 over 27. However, we know that term 15 in a geometric sequence must be given by a r to the power 14. Which now means that again when you look at this equation we have a and r being unknowns. I can then call this equation 2 as well. Now this here I have to solve for r and a simultaneously to be able for me to find the common ratio, to find the r that we are requested to calculate. Now to do this, I'm going to say here that equation 2 divided by equation 1, what do I get? Now that means I'm going to take each number here in equation 2, divide to each number in equation 1. This is to say that I'm going to say a negative 1 over 27 because it is equation 2, it's part of equation 2. Then I'm dividing this by equation 1. By equation 1, meaning a number in equation 1 there, I'm going to have 1 over 8. And the equal sign will be the way it is. Same thing on this, on the right hand side, I'm going to say equation 2, which is this, right, is going to be given by a r to the power 14. Then I'm dividing that, I'm dividing that by equation 1, which will be given by a r to the power 11. Now at this stage we can pull the calculator to actually determine this. So we're going to have negative 1 over 27 divided by 1 over the 8. And this gives me actually negative 8 over 27 is equal to. Now on the right hand side, you can see that the a will actually cancel each other out. And that's a sweet thing to have because now we have an opportunity to then deal with r alone. Now this would mean that for us to find r, I'm going to say I keep the base because I can see that I have powers that have the same base. So I'll keep the base and subtract the exponents. And really, when you say we're subtracting the exponents, it means here I'm going to have a 14 minus 11. And we know that 14 minus 11 should give us a 3. So that means here I'm going to have a 3. Now to solve for r on this type of an equation, I'm going to multiply the exponents by 1 over 3. But what I do on the left, I also do on the right. That means on this side, I'll also have the multiplication of 1 over 3. The reason why I chose to multiply these exponents by 1 over 3 is because this and this would cancel each other, so that I'm left with r to the power 1. And r to the power 1 would actually be equal to an r. And things are getting easier now because that's what I'm looking for. But remember that when you have such an exponent here, it is the same as the cube root. We can write 1 over 2 as a cube root. So this means I'm looking for the cube root of negative 8 over 27. Now this I can punch quickly on a calculator to say I have here the cube root of negative 8 over 27. And that says to us that therefore r should be equals to negative 2 over 3. That is our common ratio. This question will be marked out of 3 marks. The first mark will really come from doing your equations. Equation 1 and equation 2, setting up these two equations. And the other mark will come from simplification. You have to notice that they won't give you a lot of marks on this because you did this in grade 10 and 11, when you were studying exponents and sets. So the whole simplification here, where you apply exponents and sets, is going to be given 1 mark. And one thing that we need to mark is the final answer, because that's where we are doing the new stuff. Now in grade 12 to say we're looking for r. So that will give you 1 mark, and that is a total of 3 marks. The last question then says calculate the first term of the sequence, meaning we're looking for a. Now this should be very easy for us to do because already we set up equations where we have a. You can choose one of these equations to find a. It will give you the same answer. I'll just go with equation 1 on my case. So here we are doing 3.1.2. I'll say here from equation 1, we know that 1 over 8 is actually equals to a r to the power 11. And to then solve this, we know the r now. We're going to substitute the r to say now here we have a, and our r is a negative 2 over 3. Remember, we just calculated r at the bottom, and this is to the power 11. Now, this thing is only for like 2 marks. I'll say depend on your calculator to solve such a problem. Don't waste time trying to figure out this and all that. What you can do here is that you can divide here by this number here, the negative 2 over 3 to the power 11, so that it cancels. And this side also divide by the negative 2 over 3 to the power 11, and punch the whole thing in a calculator. So what I'm saying here is that we're going to have 1 over 8, and we're saying we're dividing this by negative 2, 3 over 3 to the power 11, right? That's what we're doing. We're basically dividing both sides by this guy here. So we're going to have here negative 2 over 3 to the power 11. That's what I punched in the calculator. So now this means that our a, because here we'll only be left with a, is indeed equals to the negative 10.81. And that is our first term. The 2 marks will come from substituting the correct answer you found in the previous question and actually finding the value of a.